Call to order. We begin to acknowledge that land on which we gathered that is currently known as the City of West Hollywood is the occupied, unceded seized territory of the Gabrielino Tongva and Gabrielino Keith people. Tonight, Commissioner Blau will be doing the Pledge of Allegiance for us. Madam Secretary, can I get a roll call, please?
Here.
I think you said Ing. Yes,
I'm
here.
sorry.
Oh, there we are.
Apologize. Commissioner Howman,
Here.
Vice Chair.
I'm already here too.
Vice Chair Blas, I apologize. Commissioner Post
Here.
and Chair Harrison,
Here.
we have a quorum.
Moving on to the item 4 is the agenda, approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to tonight's agenda from the October 27th meeting, commissioners? Staff or commission, no changes? Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
So moved. May I please get a roll call, Commission Secretary?
We'll do Commissioner Vice Chair Blau,
Aye.
Commissioner Ing,
Aye.
Commissioner Howman,
Aye.
Commissioner Post,
Aye.
Chair Harrison.
Aye.
Agenda has been approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 5 on the agenda is approval of the minutes, or, sorry, we did that already? Moving on. Moving on to public comments. And so item number 6 on the agenda, Commission Secretary, do we?
We missed the minutes.
Wait, we did miss the minutes.
Yeah.
My apologies. We're going back. Item 5 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Are there any changes to the minutes for September 29th, 2025? Staff or commission, any changes?
There are no changes.
Can I please get a roll call?
Vice Chair Blau,
Abstain. I'm going to abstain.
noted. Commissioner Ing,
Aye.
Commissioner Hallman,
Aye.
Commissioner Post,
Aye.
Chair Harrison.
Aye. Okay, now
Minutes
moving
are
on.
approved.
Thank you very much. Now moving on to public comments. Commission Secretary, do we have any speakers at this time or any callers on Zoom?
We have 3 speakers, no speakers on Zoom. We'll begin with the first speaker. Ms. Wendy Goldman, can you please approach the podium? You will have 3 minutes.
Chair, I don't think your microphone is on. Thank
No?
you. It is now.
Okay.
Thank you. Good evening, commissioners. Wendy Goldman, Sunset Strip Neighborhood Watch Block Captain. Thank you for your service to our community. In the past, I've requested removal of pedestrian hazards on Sunset Strip and help to improve the economic blight that attracts crime and the unhoused, and I've asked for more traffic enforcement. I want to address our community safety this Friday. It'll be wonderful to welcome thousands of partygoers for the annual Halloween Carnival, some wearing amazing costumes and hiding behind masks, yet we should be mindful of unwelcome folks who come here to prey on others. I'm sure that our public safety partners from LA Sheriff's Department and ambassadors will be out in large numbers to keep careful watch over us, yet it is up to us to have common sense. I'd like to repeat the advice I heard a long time ago. Leave valuables at home, travel in pairs after dark, and drink responsibly. With pickpocketing so common, always keep cell phones in front of you, not in a back pocket, and reduce vandalism by keeping all valuables in your car hidden. The traffic gridlock that is sure to begin by noon on Friday after street closures will pose additional pedestrian threats. I have recently heard complaints from residents who were walking their dogs about speeding cars that ignore them when crossing at traffic signals. Allowing an increase in time for crossing and advanced pedestrian walk signals will help. Safety awareness for pedestrians must be a priority. Those with mobility issues need our understanding to allow sufficient time to cross without being terrorized by impatient drivers. Street vendors who have resisted policies that prevent them from operating on the sidewalks should be warned. Don't patronize these vendors. None are permitted to operate on or near Santa Monica Boulevard. Finally, the time change is coming up soon, and darkness brings its own public safety concerns. Stay aware of your surroundings at all times, looking ahead, not looking down at your phone. The walking while distracted virus has infected many pedestrians, especially when crossing the street. Please make sure to survive these uncertain times by looking out for each other. Happy Halloween. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Stephanie Harker. Can you please come to the podium? You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Chair Harrison, Commissioners. Stephanie Harker, City of West Hollywood. Many things in life can make us disabled. Genetics, disease, accidents, or just bad luck of the draw. But it is infuriating if the cause could have been avoided. Scooters and delivery robots, in the blink of an eye, can render a human being disabled, or worse, kill you. And for what? Someone needed a sandwich or a burrito delivered? Or for the small amount of revenue it contributes to the city coffers? Just ask the young woman who was struck by a scooter on Santa Monica Boulevard and has permanent brain damage. Or Debbie Meister, who was severely injured with broken bones and 2 surgeries caused when she was plowed down while in a crosswalk by a scooter rider running a red light. And no one was held responsible for what is now a life with a painful elbow. No one was held responsible, not the scooter rider's insurance company, nor Lime, nor Uber. I know that the Disabilities Advisory Board was opposed to extending the contracts of the businesses involved, but it fell on deaf ears. Please, in the interest of safety, urge your council members to reconsider removing these hazards from our streets to protect pedestrians of all kinds, but particularly those with mobility issues. Maybe a public protest is necessary, as there was on the streets of DC prior to the passing of the ADA, when people in wheelchairs and on crutches had to fight for their rights in the streets. It's time to prevent the preventable and make safety for all a reality and not just virtue signaling with an empty slogan. Thank you.
Our last speaker is Todd Barnes. Can you please come to the podium? You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Todd Barnes, and I'm the General Manager of the Abbey. I want to start by thanking the City of West Hollywood, the Sheriff's Department, and our public safety partners for taking action to address issues like pickpocketing and drug use that affect nightlife venues across the city. We all share the same goal: keeping our communities safe, our guests protected, and our businesses thriving. We are cooperating fully with law enforcement and have already strengthened safety measures, retrained staffs, and reinforced our zero-tolerance policies. We want to be part of the solution. We ask that future operations be coordinated with venue management. In today's environment, there are real sensitivities around law enforcement, ICE activity, and how these actions are perceived. During the most recent operation, rumors that federal immigration authorities were involved led us to temporarily close our doors out of our commitment to protect our community from ICE. That decision had caused lost revenue, lost tips and wages for our team on one of the busiest nights. For some tip-dependent employees, that meant not being able to make rent that month. We also urged that enforcement be evenly applied across all nightlife venues to avoid any perception of selective targeting. And we asked that future efforts focus on the individuals committing crimes, not the venues that serve as safe community spaces. Effective public safety efforts must also include individual accountability from those who choose to use or distribute to those who bring illegal activity into our establishments. Highly publicized raids often push people into unregulated, unpermitted warehouse parties, which makes everyone less safe. Finally, I want to emphasize that the Rainbow District is central to West Hollywood's identity and success. It is not just an entertainment zone. It is an economic engine and a cultural anchor. Protecting its reputation is critical to the city's long-term prosperity. The Abbey has proudly served this community for more than 3 decades, and we remain committed to working with the city and the Sheriff's Department to ensure that public safety and community trust move forward together. Thank you.
Do we have any more questions, Commission Secretary?
We have no further speakers.
Okay.
Chair Harrison.
Thank you.
Chair, sorry, real quickly, did we read the land acknowledgement?
We did.
We did, okay, thank you very much.
Maybe that's when the mic wasn't on. But yes, confirmed. Now we're moving on to unfinished business. There's no unfinished business on the agenda this evening. And now we will move on to Los Angeles County Fire. Los Angeles County Fire will not be presenting tonight, correct?
Good evening, Chair and members of the Commission. A representative from the Los Angeles County Fire Department is unable to join us this evening as they are currently involved in deployment efforts to Jamaica in response to Hurricane Melissa. I will share with the Commission the data from the September reports, and if there are any questions, we will communicate those with the Fire Department and respond back to you with the responses. In the month of September 2025, the Los Angeles County Fire Department responded to 575 total responses in the city of West Hollywood, 403 of which were medical related. The number of responses in the city remains consistent with the prior year at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you. And next up is security ambassadors. It might be. Are we doing questions without representative, or are you taking? Yeah. Sorry, commissioners, questions? Commissioner Blau?
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you, Chair. More so than anything else, there's a lot more hazardous condition reports on this last month's report from fire, a lot of it related to arcing on shorted equipment. I'll be curious to hear if we have advice from the fire department on what's causing that. It looks potentially like a lot of it is, tree shrubbery, potentially. I think that's normally what causes arcing in high voltage equipment is, branches and whatnot. So I'll be curious to hear what their assessment is on that, and then any follow-up that we can do as a city to ensure that the utility managers are adequately adjusting shrubbery around equipment. That's all.
Thank you. Any other questions, commissioners? No? Okay. We can now move on to item 8B from the security ambassadors, who will provide a report on September's activity. And welcome.
Good evening, Chair and members of the Commission. I will share the data from block by block for the month of September 2025. In September of 2025, there were a total of 442 calls for service. 34 safety escorts were provided throughout the city, and 10 incidents were escalated to the Sheriff's Department by the ambassadors. Beginning October 1st, Allied Universal took over all unarmed security ambassador services in the city. I'd like to introduce Alan Gonzalez, Client Manager from Allied Universal, to provide a brief update.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. Can you hear me? Thank you, Commissioners, members of the public. In the nearly 1 month since we've taken over operations, we can report some significant progress. At this point, we're at approximately 90% staffing, which we started at a deficit initially as we first took on combination of taking on those incumbents who were staying, as well as doing new hires. And right now, with some attrition along the way, approximately 90%. We're in pretty good space there. You can see by the slide here, and you have likely already noticed change in uniform and why so many colors. There actually is a reason for that. Our officers in black, as was the case before, these are the safety officers assigned throughout the city. Those are at permanent posts. They don't normally patrol or rove the city. And in yellow are our general safety ambassadors. And then in white, that identifies any of our leads. Okay, so anybody in white, you can tell right away that they are one of our leads. And especially in times of responding to incidents, et cetera, at a glance, you should be able to tell who's in charge. Okay, that's the reason for that. Currently, month to date, we fielded about 500 calls for service through the dispatch line. That's just phone calls alone. You're averaging about 15 to 20 a day. Next slide, please. Okay. Talk a little bit about what we're doing as far as our deployment here in the time since preparing to start services, as well as in the months since. Training is a big part of what we do and incredibly important to having a successful operation. Part of that is Bureau of Security and Investigative Services, state agency responsible for licensing security in the state of California. For example, 30-day and 6-month training. These are required trainings that we stay on top of course. Additionally, California continuing education training. These are required training also. Those are ongoing. This is not an exhaustive list, but gives some idea of what training is provided to our folks. New employee orientation and OJT, on-the-job training, post-certification. Basically, you have your new employee orientation, which is general orientation for security work with Allied Universal as a company, company-wide. What our expectations are, what requirements we have for our people as far as performance and duties. OJT post-certification is job specific, and in this case, the Safety Ambassador Program. There is no one-size-fits-all training regimen, right? Every deployment is different, and so for that reason, we have specific training. LGBTQI sensitivity training is also part of that training regime. Opioid overdose and bystander use of Narcan training. Our folks are supplied with Narcan. They carry it with them. In the event that it does need to be used in the field, we have that handy, that life-saving utility to ensure that we're able to help where needed. Additionally, trained in assisting and providing resources to the unhoused, whether it be by inquiring as to they need help, connecting them with resources in the community, as well as, having those conversations when they are in areas they should not be, having these conversations, explaining to them the necessity of, moving to another place. And last but certainly not least, de-escalation training, extremely important. Our primary tool is really our ability to talk to people and connect with people. We're not out there in any kind of physical capacity in the sense of, we are completely hands-off operation. We are there to talk to people, connect with people, and really that is one of the key drivers of success for the program. Various training methods include virtual instructor-led training. These are remote Zoom-type training sessions, seminars. and we have online training programs as well. As far as reaching us, the number has changed. I know this has been publicized citywide, and the number is 323-848-6500 for calls and text. As I mentioned, right around 500 calls already thus far. Focused on customer service and community experience, proactive uniformed bike and foot patrols throughout the city. We're there to respond to nonviolent calls for service and provide safety escorts. I'll reiterate the safety escort aspect. This is a program set up to assist people who may feel unsafe and would like to have somebody escort them to their destination, whether it be walk from a business to their parked car, whatever it may be. We are here for that as well. We collaborate with cities on house services, programs to connect individual support and resources. There is also the City of West Hollywood official app. There is a link there as well to connect with the Safety Ambassador team. We have a couple static locations, including but not limited to the West Hollywood Aquatic and Recreation Center, right here, of course. Plummer Park, the pickup line, City Hall, council meetings, advisory board and commission meetings, and of course, our events. No need to mention Halloween coming right up, right? We are here to cover those as well, to assist with other departments, to make sure everything is safe and secure. And I think that's the last one.
Okay. Vice Chair Blau, I believe you have a question.
I do. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Is that you? Okay, we'll go with that. Thank you for the report. Thank you for joining us. Very welcome to have you
And
here.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
I
please.
must mention, Valerie, the general manager for the program,
Okay.
is away on vacation. That's why you
Okay.
have my ugly mug instead of hers.
Normally it'll be Valerie.
Sorry,
No.
yes, that's
Okay,
right.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much. You answered one of the questions that I had about maintaining bike patrols.
Yes.
So I'm not going to ask that. We're going to just anyways. But I do just want to highlight the importance of the LGBTQIA sensitivity training that you highlighted as part of the curriculum for the security ambassadors. It's really important to our community. We're a very unique, diverse community, and there's a lot of sensitivities, especially within those groups. And so making sure that our security ambassador partners understand what those sensitivities could be, I think will definitely help just overall making sure that, as you continue to participate importantly in the community is happy you're here as well.
Agreed, and yeah, that is definitely one of our top priorities.
Great. Thank you so much.
Excuse me.
Commissioner Hallman.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening and welcome. You said you're about at 90%. How many members from the block by block staff did you retain, or how many reapplied?
Roughly half of the team, half of our staff, or maybe just over half, is probably incumbent personnel.
Okay, and when do you think, because 90% is great, when do you think you might be fully staffed?
I'm figuring I'd like to be fully staffed by mid to late November. And I know that sounds a little bit out there in terms of date, but we're very selective in who we're sending here. And so at 90%, we're able to effectively staff everything. We have turned down applicants, and we've turned down guards that may be appropriate for other locations and operations, but not quite suited to this. And so for that reason, we're being careful.
Okay, and a big Halloween carnival is right around the corner.
Indeed.
Are you ready? Have you ever attended before?
I've never attended, but we are indeed ready. We do have a lot of institutional knowledge that we've been able to keep with us. Many of you already know Jackie Hernandez, who's with the program prior, and she's proven to be a huge help and source of good information for us to help us prepare and carry out an effective operation.
Yeah, no, she
This
is
Friday.
quite effective and amazing. My last question, what is the current route that your team is walking or covering?
So primarily, we stick on the main arteries, right? Santa Monica, Sunset, and as well as we have these static posts, the kiosks, here at ARC, for example. So those are our primary routes, right? And then from there, we have what are called proactive tours, where we'll turn off on the side streets, right? And, take a quick ride down the side streets. Then from there, we're also deployed on an ongoing active basis as we receive calls. We're all over the city.
So are you going to include more walking routes in residential neighborhoods?
We are doing, well, that's subject to discussion with the city and what their specific needs are. As it is right now, there aren't any specific changes planned. Our walking routes, though, are extensive. And we are currently doing more foot routes than bike routes. And part of the rationale behind that is it makes us more accessible. We're not zooming by on a bicycle. You can stop us, talk with us, let us know what's going on.
If I'm correct, walking residential was part of the old program. Staff, do we know that for sure? Wasn't walking residential neighborhoods part of block by block?
That is correct. Residential patrols still remain a priority with Allied Universal. And as mentioned, we do assess needs as they come and sometimes reassess resources and deploy ambassadors in different areas depending on activity. But residential patrols still are still maintained with Allied Universal.
Okay. I just want to urge the importance of residential patrols.
Sure.
That was a big part of block by block. And I know, so if you're doing more foot patrol opposed to bike patrol, but I think residents, would like to see you on residential streets. I would love to maybe circle back to that next month to see.
So to be clear, it is something we're doing, but to your question, are we, expanding additional? There have been no discussions to that effect. But again, the goal is to have our presence spread out as we make our routes and take trips down the side streets for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Eng?
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Manager. First, I'll say that the white shirt for the leads is good. I know that that's new, right? So that's a good thing. I'm curious in the handover, the changeover, if you were made, or if Allied was made aware of any of the city's hotspots that are not just Rainbow District. For instance, there's been some daytime robberies in the Harper Flores area. I think there were 2 daytime robberies recently. There's some cannabis businesses like, well, I'm not going to name them, but there are a few cannabis businesses that have had really brazen robberies and multiple. And then there was talk at the last council meeting about street vendors who are seemingly or supposedly dumping on San Vicente. So I'm wondering if any of those have been, if you've been made aware of any of those, and if that's
Yes.
anything you're
Yeah,
paying
we have
attention to.
discussed those, and it's tough, right? In the sense of we want to try to maintain our coverage as evenly as possible. However, those hot spots were brought to our attention, and so we do make a point to keep that in the back of our mind. These are areas that may potentially be trouble. Yes.
Commissioner Post?
Yes, thank you for the updates. I might have missed it on the slide, but is kind of gun training or active shooter training included in the training that you do, especially in preparation for big events that we have coming up?
That is part of our training. That is typically a multi-hours long training. We typically do it. We do have a training component that's part of our training that identifies active shooter concerns. One, how to identify potential active shooter situation, how to respond. That is part of our basic instruction as people come on the job. the more extensive active shooter training specifically designed around that, and again, this is the hours-long type I'm talking about, that is available as well. We do plan to cover that with our team, but you know, it's kind of on a rolling basis.
Thank you.
Yes.
One other thing I had with speaking with residents, I think they appreciate the updated colors, especially the yellow, it stands out. I know we talked previously about not quite a vest, but the lining almost that was reflective on Block by Block folks. I know it looks like there's a little bit of a line built into the uniform itself, but I just had gotten feedback from residents that adding another reflective layer, especially at night, to be able to be visible, was just a suggestion that they had. And then another small suggestion, I've definitely seen the coverage and I've seen the folks out and about. In regards to the Lime scooter bike issue, I had just specifically seen an instance where, unfortunately, one of our ambassadors kind of just walked right around one of those lying in the middle of our sidewalks. And so I think while the ownership of that issue is definitely on the individual, we as a city obviously have to address that in terms of safety. And I think just as a reminder, to instead of stepping around or over, to have those ambassadors help just push that to the side would be ever grateful for our staff. And I know those things are able to be submitted through the WeHo app, which I imagine gets connected to you all as well to help when those do come through. So appreciate all the work you have been doing. It seems like the transition and rollout has been good, and looking forward to more updates.
Thank you for the feedback, and on that note, those scooters are kind of a pet peeve of mine as well. That little bit goes a long way, so I appreciate you bringing that up. Yes.
I just also want to say, I think your presence has been noted definitely by folks in my area in the center part of the city. I do think the new uniforms stand out in a really positive way. I also am surprised, like the number of callers that actually found the new number is surprising. Are you still routing from the old number?
The old number still is routing, but it does seem that the word is getting out regarding the new number. We've even received a couple of even just test calls and text messages for people just verifying that it is indeed the correct new number. But the majority of the calls coming in are for actual service requests.
Great.
Yeah, the vast majority.
Well, thanks. I think it's been a great start so far.
Thank you.
Any other questions, commissioners? Any public comments or questions at this time?
No public inquiries, comments.
Okay. Thanks, Alan. I really
Chair,
appreciate it.
If I could just add one item related to the sharing of the new number. The city is going to do a citywide mailer to every resident and business in West Hollywood that is going to include a big magnet. If you remember, that was kind of popular, a popular piece. So that will be going out early next month. So please look out for that in your mailboxes. And if you don't receive it, let us know.
Great. Thank you very much. And I believe next up we are item 8C, Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. He'll provide a report on September's activity. Welcome.
Good evening, Commissioners. Sergeant Duran is not here tonight, so I'll be filling in, so bear with me. For the month of September, West Hollywood Station personnel handled a total of 1,771 calls for service. 71 of those calls were for an emergency response. Deputies made 45 felony arrests, 86 misdemeanor arrests. Our Part 1 crimes for the month, we had 137 incidents. When broken down by district, the West accounted for 53% with 73 incidents. City Center, 18% with 25 incidents. East, 29% with 39 Part 1 crimes. There were 13 pickpocket thefts in the Rainbow District. Our MET team responded to a total of 65 incidents for September, and our sort submissions were 35. On Friday, October 31st, the West Hollywood Halloween Carnival will take place. There will be some significant street closures taking place that I want to make everyone aware of at this time. Santa Monica Boulevard will be closed from Doheny on the west end to La Cienega on the east, and starting at 12 p.m. on Halloween is the time that starts. San Vicente Boulevard will be closed from Melrose on the south side to Santa Monica Boulevard on the north side, starting at midnight. San Vicente north of Santa Monica Boulevard to Cynthia Street will be closed at 12 p.m. on Halloween. We hope to have Santa Monica Boulevard open sometime in the early morning hours on Saturday, November 1st, hopefully earlier than later. Over the past several months, we have worked in conjunction with our public safety partners, fire department, city public safety, and our emergency operations bureau to ensure everyone has a safe and fun Halloween. Due to the event taking place on a Friday night, we are anticipating a large crowd. I wanted to touch on an incident which occurred since the last Public Safety Commission, which was heavily reported on. On Friday, October 17th, our Narcotics Bureau, with the assistance of station personnel, conducted a narcotics, pickpocket, and illegal vending operation. 13 arrests were made at a business within the city. The operation was planned to spread to multiple businesses. These operations we have multiple times a year. I would like to reiterate, ICE had no involvement. It was a Sheriff's Department operation. And with that, I'll open up to questions.
Commissioner, Vice Chair Blau.
Thank you, Chair. I won't take too long. You just mentioned illegal vending operation. What does that mean?
So illegal vending would be businesses that aren't licensed to sell food within the cities. So like your hot dog vendors.
Got it.
Alcohol sales.
No, that. Well, maybe you could add at the.
I think we can do that after. I mean,
yeah, maybe after. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So with respect to when these operations occur, so as you heard from Mr. Barnes, it sounded like at least there was insufficient coordination with the businesses to make them aware of this sort of a situation. What was that coordination intended to look like with the Abbey in this instance? Yeah.
So when it comes to operations that are undercover, we don't give a heads up to businesses that we are going to be there. That's kind of why they're undercover operations. Mm-hmm. So in that capacity, we don't go into the businesses and say when we're going to be there, and that's also for the safety of our personnel as well.
Okay. And then you also said that it wasn't targeted just necessarily at one particular business, but that it happens to other businesses. Maybe is it your assessment that it was just specific reporting in this instance that is making it seem like that one business was targeted specifically?
Yeah, for this particular operation, we had planned to go to multiple businesses. However, that night, once we had 13 arrests, we didn't have the personnel to continue to the other businesses with evidence to book and reports to write.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Okay, that's understood. Thank you. I want to shift gears just really quickly to priority responses of officers. So I got feedback from a community member who witnessed a sheriff cruiser just racing down Fountain without their lights on, without sirens. I assume that that's related to like a priority response where you wouldn't turn on the lights and sirens, but where you're trying to get there really quickly, so it's not an emergency response. Is there a way, the feedback from that community member was like, oof, it really seems like maybe they're just driving haphazardly and recklessly, which, from a third-party perspective, it seems like. Is there possibility in those instances to like turn on the lights, or maybe if the lights aren't flashing, but just like turn on solid lights so that it's maybe clearer to the community that like, hey, we're mid-operation, but it's not like we're just driving crazy?
Yeah, so sometimes in law enforcement, they call that code 2.5, and that's something we absolutely do not do.
Okay.
So I would encourage any community member that sees a patrol vehicle driving like that to get us a unit number, a license plate number, and we will absolutely deal with that. When it comes to emergency responses, we have very strict parameters that we can roll code 3, which means lights and sirens, to. So under no conditions should someone be driving recklessly to get to a priority call.
Okay, yeah.
Or an emergent call for that matter.
And I wasn't there necessarily, so this is unfortunately secondhand, but the feedback was that they were driving like really fast down Fountain when there was no traffic around. So they're like, oh, they must have been needing to get somewhere quick, but without lights and sirens. So, okay. But noted, so in the future, we can get the cruiser number and pass that back because they shouldn't be speeding.
No, not even to an emergent call.
Got it, okay.
All right.
That's helpful. Thank you so much.
Questions, commissioners?
Yeah, thank you for the report. I also want to thank the Sheriff's Department. I attended the Dialogue with a Cop at Dialogue Cafe and saw you there. I think we need to be doing more events like that, creating opportunities for our community members to engage with the sheriff's officers that are serving our community. As it relates to the drug bust, I think something that I've heard from community members as well is how we can, I guess, further distinguish ourselves from ICE. I know uniforms look very similar, especially in an undercover situation. There can be a lot of confusion around that. And I know there was also concerns around unmarked vehicles. I think they're often, especially leaving, accompanied by a sheriff vehicle. But whether it's a direction at you or even some of my other commission members, I think thinking through how we can make sure that our community does not go into immediate alarm mode in regards to ICE, I think is really important. And I think, I know there was 1 or 2 specific videos that were shared online that kind of showed some of those interactions between some citizens asking questions and the officer. Is there kind of like usually like a public information individual that is appointed when a scene happens that's kind of on that kind of point person for inquiries from press or other things like that, and just kind of how can we help kind of dispel that myth that when something like this happens, it's ICE, it's not ICE, and it's you all.
Let me kind of break that down. I think you had multiple questions
Yeah,
there.
sorry about that.
You know, I think you have a great point, and when there is an operation going on, making sure there is a sheriff's department or multiple sheriff's department vehicles that are marked and are visible. I unfortunately wasn't at this particular operation, but I think that's a great suggestion, and Captain Lapkin and I can look into that absolutely. The uniforms, all of them I think were in outer vest, green outer vest, and were clearly marked sheriff on the back. I'm not sure how we could distinguish that anymore. That is, we have uniforms that go through a uniform committee, and those are approved standard uniforms.
And is there a specific like badge number or identifier that always has to be visible on those vests, or is that something that can necessarily be covered up possibly during an undercover operation?
So the outer vests generally have a cloth badge sewn onto them without a badge number, but anytime you ask a police officer for their badge number, they have to give it to you. Okay. So.
Awesome. I think outside of that situation, there was an uptick in misdemeanor and felony possession as well as under influence arrest for drugs. Was that largely as a result of this enforcement interaction, or were there other things that were contributing to increased drug arrests?
For the narcotics arrests were up due to this operation, yes.
Thank you. And then the only other question I had, I know there has been 1 or 2 robberies and or individuals getting out of their cars at gunpoint and being robbed. I know we had an instance of this earlier happen that was brought to the commission, and I just would ask, are there any tips that you would reiterate to the public about staying aware when walking home? I know one of our community members reiterated some of those, but just a reminder to make sure that our community members are being safe. Anything that you have in response to how we can support them?
I think anywhere you go, not just walking on the street, you kind of need to be paying attention, see if anyone's watching you, if you're at a restaurant or at a bar, to make sure that you aren't being followed out of an establishment and onto the street.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just had a question, and Commissioner Post, it reminded me to ask. One of my neighbors was one of the individuals who came here and spoke to the commission. He was robbed middle of the day, Rolex stolen off his wrist. not far from here, and it said it hasn't gotten any feedback. What is your, or, any response to where it's led, any type of investigation, or if there's any sources? Just what is the communication process or protocol for individuals after they file a report?
I would have to look into that particular incident
Yeah, I
number,
know it's
but
specific.
a number of the incidents where Rolex watches or high-end watches have been stolen are being handled by our Major Crimes Bureau and not our in-house detective bureau.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do we have any additional questions, commissioners? Any questions from the public or comments?
No comments or questions from the public.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we're going to move on to item 8D. The Public Safety Commission will appoint one delegate and one alternate to represent the Public Safety Commission during the Legislative Action Day in Sacramento. It's taking place on February 5th. So we are going to, commissioners, so we're going to choose.
Thank you, Chair, for bringing this item up on the agenda. So the City of West Hollywood has prioritized advocating for issues and policies to help advance the city's core values and improve the quality of life for residents and businesses. With assistance of a city lobbyist, the city has monitored federal and state legislation, engaged in advocacy efforts to advance the city's interests in Sacramento and Washington, D.C., and partnered with statewide and national organizations to advance the city's legislative priorities. On February 5th, 2016, representatives from the city will be traveling for one day to Sacramento, so we are looking for the commission to appoint one delegate and one alternate to represent the Public Safety Commission during the Legislative Action Day in Sacramento.
So can we nominate?
Are we nominating people, or how would you like, or should we do this?
Yes, you can take nominations and then decide on the appointed and then the delegate.
Great. I would like to nominate Commissioner Post. Other commissioners? Do everyone need to vote? Or is it?
We can. You don't have to formally vote.
don't need a
Would
roll
you
call.
also like to appoint a delegate in the event that Commissioner Post is not available?
Okay. Commissioner Eng. I would like to nominate Commissioner Eng.
Okay, so
second
to
that
confirm,
nomination.
Commissioner Post is the appointed attendee and Commissioner Eng will be the alternate.
With the caveat that she said she would like Commissioner Pilarski to possibly be the alternate. We'll deal with that later. Do we have any other questions about that, commissioners? Or are there any questions from the public or comments? Okay, moving on to items from staff.
Thank you, Chair and members of the Commission. The Los Angeles County Fire Department will be hosting Community Emergency Response Team training beginning on November 4th at Plummer Park. There's still time to sign up, and we are excited to see this class quickly fill up. If you would like to sign up for the CERT training, please email safety@weho.org, and we will share the link with you. On October 21st, we had a CERT alumni meeting for West Hollywood residents who have received CERT training in the past years to allow for an opportunity to stay connected, network, and discuss emergency preparedness in our community. We will continue to look for opportunities to engage the CERT alumni in the community. The City of West Hollywood, in partnership with the American Red Cross, also hosted a free CPR, first aid, and AED certified training at the West Hollywood Aquatic Center on October 11th. This class also filled up quickly, and 37 members completed the training. The city continues planning for Halloween 2025, which will take place this Friday on October 31st. We are working closely with our sheriffs and fire department, code enforcement, and security ambassadors to ensure the appropriate public safety measures are in place for a safe and enjoyable event for all. AIDS Walk LA took place on Sunday, October 12th. The event was well attended, and there were no significant disruptions or incidents related to the event. Thank you to our public safety partners for the planning and measures put in place for a safe event. On October 11th, Community Safety City staff, along with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Los Angeles County Fire Department, the city's Neighborhood and Business Safety Code Enforcement Team, and Allied Universal presented to the West Hollywood Civic Leadership Academy. This group was comprised of community members wanting to learn more about and get involved in city government. The presentation also included a tour to the West Hollywood Sheriff Station and Fire Station 7. Please join us for an active shooter training open to all West Hollywood community on Saturday, December 6th from 10 a.m. to noon in the council chambers. This workshop will teach best practices, situational awareness, responding to injuries, and more in the event of an active shooter incident. All City of West Hollywood residents and businesses are welcome to join. This training is free and no RSVP is required. If you have any questions, please email us at safety@weho.org. And just a quick mention, when we were doing roll call, just wanted to mention Commissioner Kelly Pilarski and Commissioner George Nickel notified us in advance that they would be absent from tonight's meeting. This concludes the updates from the Public Safety Division. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any additional public comments? Speakers of the public?
Chair Harrison, we have one public speaker. Mr. Brian Scully, can you come to the podium, please? You have 3 minutes.
Hi, how are you guys doing tonight? My name's Brian Shuley. I live up on Larrabee. I've been there since, 12, 13, I lost count years. Anyway, I manage that property as well as another property on Horn and another property on Hayworth. So I'm kind of going to be a little haphazard and back and forth because I'm trying to represent concerns from all 3 properties. One that I witness on a regular basis is with Larrabee. We have so many people that barrel ass down our street at 50 miles an hour. I don't even make that up. I watch, there's a speed sign that lights up with the speeds, and I regularly see it hit in the 40s. And that's right by the stop sign, where, at the London, then my building. So by the time they hit my driveway, they're already, exceeding 40 miles an hour. Additionally, we have people who, a couple of cars that are regularly blasting down the street with clearly illegal exhaust that are so loud that they sound like a cannon shell has gone off and they shake the building. And he's intentionally doing it because you can hear him rev up and then back it off hard so it'll blast the fireball out the backside. That has got to stop. You guys have got to get the police out there and nail this asshole. I have offered the use of my driveway for the motorcycle cop. You guys could probably pay to build a new city hall with as many people that run stop signs and speed down my street. You guys are welcome to use it. I have offered this to the Sheriff's Department. I've offered it to this council or this commission before and to the city council. Not once has anybody called me or contacted me. I've given cards, I've given phone numbers, I've given emails, no response. So that's with that. Hayworth. There are so many people that are destroying that street. And I realize there's a 7-Eleven. That's always the excuse I hear. Oh, well, there's a 7-Eleven there, so it's going to attract people. There's also a school there. I don't understand why we're not enforcing people laying all over the street with shit thrown all over the place. They tear the garbage cans apart. They're pissing in between cars. It's ridiculous. And lastly, since I'm running out of time, also related to Hayworth, but it kind of goes citywide, we need some way to have an expedited tow-away. We had an incident where our driveway was blocked by somebody. I have people who are elderly, people with health conditions, and I had 3 tenants stuck outside and another one stuck trying to get out. And it was over an hour. We should be able to call a tow truck and have them pulled away from our driveway right away. We should be able to double dispatch the parking enforcement and the tow truck at the same time. We shouldn't have to wait for them to show up 45 minutes and then call a truck. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to commissioner comments. Commissioners? Commissioner Hallman?
Thank you, Chair. I just have an announcement. LA County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath and a couple of other agencies on Sunday, November 16th there's going to be an emergency preparedness event at the Scarborough Cultural Center from 9 to 12. And I did leave flyers out front from someone who's taken CERT twice and someone who's tried to be involved in other emergency activities. I think if you are able to attend these, things are very important because, God forbid, one day we might need to take care of ourselves and one another. And that is my only comment, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Hallman. Commissioner Eng?
Thank you, Chair. Brian, you can ask for traffic monitoring. In fact, that is happening with the city now. The lieutenant will verify. I know there's a regular traffic monitoring by Plummer Park. Okay, I don't know what you said, but you can tell me later. And then I want to congratulate Vice Chair Blau because he just got married. So we're very excited about that. And yeah, the pictures are beautiful. I saw them. And then I want to thank Wendy Goldman for coming in and talking about being careful throughout these next few, well, always, basically. And as we know, we have Halloween coming up, so I want to thank staff because I already know it's going to be like an 18-hour day for all of you. So I hope that you're all safe and that it goes smoothly and that it's a short night for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Eng. Commissioner Post?
Yes. A few updates. The main one that I want to provide from the Human Services side, I attended the Human Services Commission, and they had a update from the WeHo Cares team, and I just thought I'd share some of their statistics. This report is available in the Human Services Commission, and given their connected work to us, I definitely encourage all of our commissioners to read that full staff report. But over the last year in 2024, WeHo Cares responded to 1,524 calls and had 2,212 follow-ups, 36% of which were all based on basic needs and another 32% were based on housing. So that really just shows how much they are going out there, how much they're getting called for these things. 58% of those calls came from the work and outreach of Sycamores, which is the third-party provider that they're working with. And the next largest referrals was actually 13% from our ambassadors program. So looking forward for Allied to continue to be referring folks to our WeHo Cares team. But like I said, I encourage everyone to read that full report, which is available on the Human Services Commission website. The only other thing I had as well, attended a few different things. Thank you again for all the safety partners and city partners that attended Dialogue with a Cop. The Disabilities Health and Wellness Fair, AIDS Walk was great. The CERT alumni meeting was also amazing, and looking forward to taking the training this upcoming time. And I think that's all that I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Blau.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Commissioner Eng, for the positive thoughts. I appreciate it. And also thank you to the speakers who came out and spoke. You know, part of the strength of this is the community, and you're all part of it. I have a couple questions for staff, actually. I guess they're both related to Halloween. Is there going to be special code enforcement deployments for Halloween? I know that I think in June I saw like a whole fleet out there with Vito at the time, and it was really effective for Pride to get to control the street vendors, which is a point that was raised. Is there going to be something similar for Halloween as well?
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. Yes, there will be a deployment out in partnership with our Sheriff's Department, our code enforcement team, and our security ambassadors to enforce unpermitted vendors that are attempting to get into the Halloween footprint. Like you mentioned, thank you, last year, or this year, a few months ago at Pride, it was a successful operation, so they will work together again in collaboration with one another to continue the unpermitted, unlicensed vendor enforcement for Halloween.
Great, Thank you. And what is the latest with the fixed security cameras? Is that something we'll be able to leverage for Halloween?
So we, separate from the project for installing the fixed cameras throughout the city, the public safety community project that we're working on, for Halloween specifically within the footprint, we are going to have fixed cameras installed. So we are not waiting on that technology to ensure safety measures for Halloween themselves. As soon as the event is over, those cameras will be removed and they will only be used for the Halloween within the Halloween footprint.
Got it. Okay, thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you. My only comments have already been stated tonight by others, but hope everyone has a really safe Halloween. I do think it's going to be busy this year. We also know that tensions are high, so just be on alert, be aware of everything around you, but also enjoy yourselves. It's one of the best things about this city. So that, we are done. Adjourned.
So we're here at Fountain Avenue, which is one of the city's busiest corridors. It's one of the first in the city to receive a speed limit reduction from a speed limit of 35 miles per hour down to 30 miles per hour. And the goal with that is to really increase safety on this corridor, reduce fatal and severe crashes, and make it